get it on!
Hey there everybody, and welcome to another special edition of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And today we are going to give you a special review of the 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. That's right. Just this past Monday, we had a great episode of Raw. I mean, as far as a...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you know what? If you ever watch our show, we probably do give away a lot of spoilers. But, oh well. If you haven't watched it, tough shit for you. Now, as far as an anniversary show goes, I think it lacked a little bit. You know, could have had, more special guests, this and that. But as far as an episode of Raw went, I think it was pretty good.
It was definitely one of the better episodes of Raw we've seen in a very long time. However, I have to agree. With Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels both being out of, the Texas area at the time, we were missing a lot of, star-studded quality.
Absolutely, absolutely.
However, The Rock was in the house. You all know what that means. When The Rock is in the house, somebody's ass is getting roasted.
That's true. Now, the show opened up with a little montage of openings from the last 20 years, different Raw openings, and it was actually really interesting to see that again.
It was.
Something that we hadn't seen in a while, and I enjoyed it. I have to say, it took me back.
Well, it was really nice. We had a really great commentary team. We had Jerry Lawler out there with Michael Cole and JBL.
Mm-hmm.
Later in the show, JR would be out there to join.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very interesting. He joined for the Dolph Ziggler-Cena match, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But we'll start with the opening of the show. Opened up, Vince McMahon came out to the ring. It was nice to see him. Haven't seen him in a while. He went on, talked a bit about, Raw over the last 20 years and
how he's a genius.
He is a genius, yes, and how, according to Nielsen, over the last 20 years, Raw has been viewed over 4 billion times. Which, hey, good for them. That's great. Well, I should say 4 billion times in the United States. That doesn't include overseas. Just saying. But, it was nice to see him out there doing his thing. But then who shows up?
The Big Show.
Of course. Yeah. He had to come out there and just ruin everything, in my opinion.
Well, he came out there, though, to make a very valid point, though.
That's true.
What happened to him on SmackDown, Alberto Del Rio taking the title, was a travesty. However, if he'd have just referred to Vince as Mr. McMahon from the start, he might have actually gotten a little bit more sympathy.
This is true. He kept, being like, we have to discuss what happened on SmackDown, blah, blah, blah. Vince didn't really want to hear it.
He did compliment him on his recent weight loss, though.
That is true.
No loss of his heavyweight title.
And then who comes out?
Alberto Del Rio.
The champ himself comes out, confronts the Big Show. They come out with this bucket. And, I was like, okay, they have a bucket. Maybe there's something in it, maybe there's not. Who knows? Didn't really think too much of it.
I was kind of hoping for it to be a chicken.
A chicken? Yeah.
A chicken.
That would have been interesting. And then Ricardo Rodriguez decides he's going to grab it and kind of move toward the Big Show. Big Show's like, you better not dump water on this brand new custom suit of mine. He goes to throw it, and what's in it?
Confetti bomb.
He confetti bombed him all over the place. It was quite funny, I have to admit. It was entertaining. And then Alberto goes on to just kind of kick the living crap out of the Big Show a little bit. He gets in the corner, Big Show charges him, kicks him in the face. He gets up onto his shoulders, a little bit of assist from Ricardo, does a Hurricanrana into the corner, gets up, kicks him in the back of the head. Sent a nice little message going into the Royal Rumble.
It really does. And it was a really good promo between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So then we move on to the first event of the night. It saw Randy Orton taking on Wade Barrett in a non-title match.
This was a good match. I really enjoyed what the two of them brought.
It was an interesting match, considering Randy Orton, one of the top guys in the company, lowering himself down to IC title level for a little bit, just to help push Wade Barrett in that title.
Exactly. And the thing that was interesting about this match was not the match itself, but the ending of the match.
Yes. Wade Barrett gets a clean win over Randy Orton with a bullhammer shot.
Mm-hmm. Now,
excuse me.
If Wade Barrett is going to win over somebody like Randy Orton, I would have thought, a cheap win, maybe a disqualification, something like that. But no, they really seem to want to push Wade Barrett as this IC champ and really try to elevate the title a little more.
Which is letting me know that I think what they really want to do is they're going to try and bring the elevation of the title back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, great match. If you haven't seen it, check it out. This was followed by a entertaining promo between Booker T, Eve Torres, and Teddy Long.
Booker T finally got to pull out one of his classic "Tell me you didn't just do that" kind of things.
Yeah, it was entertaining. He made a stipulation on the Divas title match that aired later on in the night that if Eve gets herself counted out or disqualified, she loses her title to Caitlyn. And I like that he finally stepped up, put his backbone in there.
Well, after that, we saw another promo. The return of Dr. Shelby.
Yeah, actually,
Which,
yes.
for those of you who have been following for the last several months, know that was D-Bry and Kane's anger management counselor.
Mm-hmm.
He had them sit down and answer a couple questions. It was a little funny promo. It was well done.
It was.
Which then he brings in Team Rhodes Scholars to see whether or not they can handle their anger. And he ends up getting pissed off himself and sets them free on top of them. It's just...
It was definitely a great promo. I think it definitely fell in line with all of those other amazing anger management promos that they did over the last few months, which I loved, personally.
I loved it as well.
Personally, I loved that.
Which set us into match number 2 of the night. Kane versus Damien Sandow.
Yes.
Really quick match. It was
It
really
really was.
surprising.
Absolutely.
Kane picked up the win.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen it, I really recommend checking out this match. It was really well done.
You know, it set up an announcement for Royal Rumble match. Team Hell No versus Team Rhodes Scholars for the titles. You know, so I think that'll be interesting. See what the two of them are going to do during this match. You know?
Yep.
I mean, they faced off a few other times, but you know,
It's been a good series of matches
they have
so
good,
far,
they
too.
have, they have good matches together. So.
Well, WWE, it's that time of year,
Mhm.
has announced the first Hall inductee of the class of 2013, which saw the legendary Bang Bang Mick Foley inducted.
Yeah, you know, it's about time. I mean, Mick Foley's been doing a lot for this company. He's been around forever. It's
I mean,
finally
he's only been put through, tops of, the cell.
tables, flaming tables, tax, all kinds of things. You know, busting his ass, killing himself for his company, and they finally give him the recognition that he deserves.
Well, as Mick Foley was in the ring getting ready to make a speech, out comes none other than the newest. I don't even know what you're going to call them. You want to call them good guys, you want to call them bad guys, you want to call them justifiable. I mean,
they are seekers of justice, sir.
in what in God's name did freaking Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, or Mick Foley himself do to piss off the Shield? Exactly.
What's funny?
Well, he has gained some weight.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as a he won a
Maybe they
title.
don't like fatties.
I'm screwed.
Yeah. Shield, you want us? Come get us. Just saying.
We're in Dunkirk, New York.
Bring it.
So the Shield comes out, and then out comes Ryback, and then out comes Orton, and then out comes Sheamus. It was a nice little,
I think it could set up for a nice 6-man tag.
I
between
agree.
them all,
Ambrose took a shell shock. I was impressed.
Yeah, if he wants to be a big part of this company, he's got to learn how to take those shots. Just saying. What? Just saying.
Well, Eve got her way to the top, and she was taking shots, but
Speaking of Eve, this leads us into our next match, the Divas Championship match. Eve versus Caitlyn.
it was longer than your average Divas match,
It's very
which
true.
was absolutely phenomenal.
You had some near falls, had a lot of good moves. I was very surprised. If more Divas matches were like this, I think people would really start to get into it.
And saw Caitlyn take the Divas Championship in her hometown of Houston.
Finally. And this, for those of you who have been online, been reading this has led up to Eve departing from the company. She's asked for her release, and so this was her final match. But, it's nice to see them pass on the torch, and we'll go from there. Are you a little chilly today?
No, just
All
wanted
right.
to be cool and inconspicuous.
We saw a backstage promo. It was Brodus Clay getting interviewed by Josh Matthews.
Yeah, in reference to CM Punk making fun of him and calling him a fat dinosaur.
And Brodus was wearing this real funky gold necklace thing. It looked like a big braided piece of rope. I don't
It
even know.
really did.
It was really weird.
It was a little odd, but I mean, it's Brodus Clay, so whatever.
It's true.
And then we got to see Brodus Clay versus CM Punk.
Yeah, which was a pretty good match.
It was
It
interesting.
wasn't bad.
I mean, Brodus Clay really impressed me with a couple of moves. Hit a really nice T-bone suplex.
Yeah, he actually got some offense.
After that match, he probably had a T-bone steak
He probably did.
with a cup of tea.
Though, just as we said about the Big Show, he did look like he was losing
Yeah,
weight.
he really did. Like, he looked like he trimmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Still has a tiny dick in his, his stuff. I mean, let him stuff guys. I mean,
Yeah, and as as you would expect, CM Punk picked up the win.
But surprisingly, not to the GTS. He picked it up to the Anaconda Vice.
Well, I mean, he's a big guy. You really think that CM Punk?
True. Doesn't want to have to,
He doesn't have to actually do any real work.
I'm going to go on record for saying that CM Punk is going to have to carry The Rock at the Rumble. Doesn't want to put out his back now.
And then we saw the once in a lifetime reformation of.
The Rock and Sock Connection.
That's right.
Which
It
really
was
saw a
great.
really little funny promo backstage. The Rock was talking about having to make a statement because Vicky Guerrero told them both to shut up because they were being too loud. And Mick goes,
No,
sorry.
Rock.
The Rock goes, hey, if you've been watching, you're just going to have to trust me.
Yeah, but then the Mick Foley was all like, "But you rock bottomed me last year."
Nobody remembers that.
Exactly.
It was a great little promo.
It really was. It was nice to see them back together. It was entertaining, I have to admit.
Next match of the night saw Sheamus taking on three-man band in an over-the-top elimination match. Now, me personally, I wasn't a real big fan of the match because 3-on-1 should have been over quick. But, I mean, whatever. Sheamus put down a fight. He comes back and loses.
I mean,
Ha-ha!
granted, he did eliminate,
Two
two of the guys. He
Two of the
eliminated
members.
Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre.
Yep. And while he was going back in to get Slater at one point, they yanked him down off the ropes, giving Heath Slater the win. He gets back in and does what? Kicks every one of their asses.
But it was a really interesting little thing. He had Heath Slater celebrating on top of Drew McIntyre's shoulders, and then Sheamus kicks out Drew's knee. He goes down, and then he kicks Heath Slater from while he was on top of him. And it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I have to admit. It was good.
We got to see a really interesting little promo of John Cena backstage.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Did a
Would've
little rapping going on.
It would have been
Nice.
better if it was like Stone Cold drinking a beer.
What if he was eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles? Would that have been acceptable for you?
Oh, that would have been funny. While wearing a CM Punk hat.
Absolutely. This then led into a new installment of Ms. TV.
With special guest,
Woo!
Ric
That's
Flair.
right. The Nature Boy himself. And
Oh.
they had a real good time out there.
They were having some fun. They were doing some moves. They were reliving.
The Miz really seemed like just like a kid in a candy store. He couldn't be happier, just out there with the legendary Ric Flair.
And then they got interrupted by none other than Antonio Cesaro. And then
he went on to insult Ric Flair, this and that.
Sadly, though, weirdly, he was wearing these U.S. Spanx.
Yeah, it was
I don't
weird.
know how
He
I
came
feel
out
about
with
that.
the American flag. Yeah, American gear. It was really odd.
And then he got in Ric Flair's face, and then the Miz stepped up. Ric Flair takes him down, and then Miz locked in a figure four.
Yeah, it was really it was cool to see. And while this was going on, Ric Flair, being Ric Flair, decided, I think I'm gonna elbow drop Cesaro's jacket.
No, it was Ric Flair's jacket.
Was it Ric Flair's
Yeah.
jacket?
He threw his
Oh,
coat
yes,
on the
it was
ground, and he's
Ric
like,
Flair's jacket.
boom!
Yeah, elbow drops the jacket. And I'm just like,
Oh.
okay. And then the Miz throws his jacket down, and he elbow drops the Miz's jacket. And it's like, okay.
Hashtag Raw20 was trending worldwide all night last night.
All night.
And into parts of today.
Yeah. I mean, that's impressive. You don't normally see that with them. You get your various trends throughout the night, but you don't usually see one trend going all night. And that's-
Hashtag look at my nuts.
Look at his nuts. Look at his nuts. Just saying. The next match, we saw the other half of Team Hell No and Rhodes Scholars. Daniel Bryan versus Cody Rhodes.
It was an interesting match. Quick as well.
Now, yeah, another quick one.
I mean,
With the other member of Team Hell No picking up the win, of course.
of course, giving them a little bit of motivation going into
Into Rumble.
Rumble.
Yep.
Then we saw Biggie Langston and AJ talking about weddings throughout the history of Raw. Ended with the D-Bry AJ. She said how it was her favorite ever.
Interesting little side note to this. If you watch closely, Biggie Langston totally got man cleavage going on. Just putting that out there. It was kind of awkward. Just saying.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's... Jim Ross comes out, like I said, and then we get John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler in a cage match. Let me just say, for a cage match on Raw, this was absolutely phenomenal.
It really was.
You got to see AJ pull out some upper body strength, and she scaled the cage. No footholds. Just
she
scaled.
just goes all the way up to the top.
I'm just going to put this out there. For all the guys watching this, we're all thinking the same thing. AJ can mount us at any time.
Now, as far as the match itself went, I really enjoyed what I saw from the two of them. They
I was
really,
highly
they really
impressed.
worked well together. I think that they'll put on a good program leading up. I don't know how long they plan on doing this, but if they lead up to WrestleMania, hey, that's fine with me.
Dolph Ziggler at the end of the match blasts Biggie Langston with the briefcase on accident, turns around, gets AA'd by John Cena, and then he gets locked in the pin. And 1, 2, 3, John Cena wins. And then we get to close out the show with none other than the Rock concert.
He made fun of Paul Heyman. He made fun of Vicky Guerrero. Some pretty funny songs.
Hashtag Twinkie Tits.
Twinkie tits.
Twinkie Tits!
Biatch, you look horrible tonight. Yeah, that's right. Look it up if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's
And
great.
then it ends with a brawl between him and Punk. I mean, they just went at it, and it had some good heat to it. I'm really
It's
looking
going to be a
forward
good
to the
build-up
Rumble
going into
match.
Mania. 2 weeks away. Or Rumble.
I'm really looking forward
Get
to
my
this,
pay-per-views
to
next
this
up,
Rumble
people.
match.
I haven't slept very well. You notice I was just eating. This son of a bitch wants to do a freaking special edition. I'm like, I've got to go to work.
Hey, you
Notice I'm
people
in
want
pants.
the special edition. I'm just saying. You want it?
No,
We
no.
give it to
What
you.
people want is us. You want us, you got us. We're a milestone. When today,
Technically, it was yesterday that it happened.
yes, we've officially hit 500 views.
The same day as Raw's 20th anniversary, we hit 500 views!
Notice,
That's right.
I am still going all wrestling, even during a special edition.
Give me a circle. Give me a circle. Use your hand.
Wait, give me a circle, give me a circle. I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how
You
much
think you're a
time
singer?
passed.
You ain't a singer.
Nope, but I am a training wrestler.
Woo! Alright. Well, this about wraps up our review for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want, you can come check us out on Facebook. Maybe even check us out on Twitter. Or watch our other episodes on YouTube. That's right. So, signing off for Off the Ropes with John and Josh, I am Josh.
And I am John.
And we are down for the count.
I see you.
Peace.
Let's get it